So to make a long story short, their fresh produce is rubber. I don't know how else to put that. You can bend it as much as you'd like and try to break it as much as you'd like, but for some reason, it will just not budge, and no one knows why.
So I cut watermelon for my kids, and they're all bringing it right back, saying they don't like the texture. And I've seen enough videos of people posting rubbery watermelon. I can't believe I got one. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like, you gotta bend it so far before it will break.
What's up, family? This is your boy Eugene DocuStories, and today yet with another video. And thank you guys for those who are keeping praying for Kenya. And we are telling you that we are not going to get tired. We are going to fight and fight and fight and fight. Now, today's video is something else that I want to talk about, and I have to stand up for my people in America, especially American blacks. So, you see what's happening in the United States today. It's just coming to my attention that people are being fed rubber food, or rather plastic food. And why is this happening? Because for the longest time, and there are some articles that if you look, they are saying that there is a high increasing number of people with obese. There is an high increasing number of people with cancer. And why do we keep seeing this coming up? We keep seeing this coming up because of the types of food that it is available for consumption to the people. This has led to the enormous deaths of people. This has attracted different sicknesses which were not there in the past. And we as Africans, we might think that we are safe because we are consuming food directly from our farms. But let me tell you, we Africans, we are not safe. We are not left out of the box. I want us to watch this video, and then I'll tell you why we Africans, we are the next. This thing is happening in the United States, and I've read different articles which stipulates that there is a high number of increasing people who are obese. And these foods, their characteristics are: one, they have too much sugar, they have too unhealthy fats. And when you look at these, the unhealthy fats that they have, it causes diseases. It causes the modern day diseases that you're seeing. So I want us to watch this video, and then I'll let you know why Africa is next in this narrative. And you might think these people are doing what they know. They are literally doing what they know. For me, as a person who has rubbed their shoulders with the United States when it comes to what's happening in our country, what the IMF is doing to Kenya, what they are imposing them, I can surely tell you that we Africans, we are next.
So there's a weird phenomenon going on in America right now. I mean, when is there not? Am I right?
Oh, brother, this
No?
guy
Okay.
stinks.
So to make a long story short, their fresh produce is rubber. I don't know how else to put that. You can bend it as much as you'd like and try to break it as much as you'd like, but for some reason, it will just not budge, and no one knows why.
So I cut watermelon for my kids, and they're all bringing it right back, saying they don't like the texture. And I've seen enough videos of people posting rubbery watermelon. I can't believe I got one. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like, you gotta bend it so far before it will break.
Now, look, I was willing to just write that off as a one-time thing. The only problem is, it's not a one-time thing.
This is watermelon. What the fuck?
Like,
It's foamy.
sponge.
Yeah, it's spongy. What the fuck? Where is this from?
Sam's Club.
So, in my mind, once is a dud, twice is a coincidence, but here's what everybody's biggest issue is. It's It's almost as if on TikTok, the entire country is suffering from this exact problem. Because there are hundreds of videos coming out every day of people cutting open these watermelons they bought from their local grocery store, and the fruit just isn't budging. And if it does, it takes an abnormal amount of pressure to do so. An amount of pressure that you normally wouldn't have to use on fruit at all. But you want to know what the craziest part about this entire situation is? The fact that it's not only happening with watermelon. So watching these videos back, you could potentially say that it's just a bad season for the fruit. Which it isn't, by the way. Watermelon is literally in season right now. It's a summer fruit. But you literally can't say that's what's happening here, because it's happening with a variety of different fruits and vegetables.
So my mother was showing me that she opened a banana that she thinks that these are not real bananas. We got it from the supermarket, but when she opens it and she breaks it in half, it gets very tough and doesn't really break. And when it pulls, it's like it's glue. It's very tight and doughy. I've never ever seen a banana like that.
And it's just like he said at the end of that video. In my entire 20 years of living, which I know to some of you isn't a long time, but it's long enough to have lived, and I've never seen a banana do that either. I've seen them turn into a straight mush when they're perfectly ripened for banana bread, but not turn into a stretchy toy from the $2 shop. But it's not getting any better, ladies and gentlemen, because the list of fruits that are affected by this plastic pandemic that's just seemingly come out of nowhere just keeps going on and on.
I gave my daughter a bowl of blueberries the other day, and I take what's left in her little bowl and I put it down the drain for the garbage disposal. And I push the button, it's doing its thing, but there's a clanking and it sounds like something's stuck. So I go in the drain and there's a blueberry that's not breaking apart. It's not doing anything. It's what's making the noise. I pick it up and why is there a rubber blueberry in my toddler's snack? My husband cut it in half. I really don't know if you can see it that well. Glistening, it's silicone. It's a silicone blueberry.
So not only are we wasting our hard-earned money in this economy on fruit that is totally inedible, but the lives of children are being put into danger because of the swallowing hazard that comes with swallowing such small fruits made of silicone.
We cut it in half. There's the glistening rubber. Let's see. Stretchy. Everyone's like, oh, stretch it if it really is rubber. Stretchy. I'm like pulling with all of my might.
I know that I've seen a few comments here and there under these videos saying, oh, the fruits just aren't in season, they're not ripe enough. I'm a farmer, I know what I'm talking about. And look, I'm sure you do, because for all I know, I could just be the most gullible person walking the planet right now. But is nobody finding it weird how this is all happening at the exact same time? Not to be a tinfoil hat here, but if it had just been one fruit, one time, I would have been willing to just accept it as a bad batch of fruit. But you're telling me that on top of all of the fruit that I've just listed, several people are now also reporting that their avocados are twisting.
Have y'all seen those videos going around about the rubber bananas and avocados? Well, I think I may have got one. I did an H-E-B curbside order 2 weeks ago and I asked for 2 ripe avocados that were ready to eat. I got home and unpacked my groceries and they were rock hard. I figured, okay, these people just can't read, right? So I put them on my counter 2 weeks ago. This avocado should be moldy by now. It just took me literally 30 seconds to cut it apart. It is so hard. The other side of the shell came off. Have you ever seen that happen? Well, not that you can feel it, but look at this. I'm pushing so hard, like so hard that it's turning my finger white and it's not even denting. Like, let me try to cut it with my fingernail. Look at that. What in the actual, what is going on here? Look at this. I can't break it apart. Like it doesn't move. Guys, what the hell is this? This is not food. Look at this. This is rubber. Guys, this is not food.
Now, not everyone who is seeing these videos believes that they're real, and that is perfectly reasonable, because some users are commenting that they were simply picked too early and that they're just not ripe yet. And while that very well may be the case, I'm also gonna play devil's advocate here and question that. Because regardless of whether or not a piece of fruit or a vegetable isn't ripe yet and was harvested much earlier than it needed to be, doesn't matter to me. Every piece of food will eventually rot after 2 weeks. So why did her avocados still look picture perfect after that long? Also, I just find it strange how this is happening to more than one person. So again, I'd be more likely to believe that one video was a hoax, but when you have this happening to people just sitting down at restaurants when they don't even make the food, it's a little bit of a different story. But what's also just as crazy is the fact that not even the animals or the insects outside are touching these fruits. Like, not a single fly, or an ant, or a maggot, or a worm. So if the damn animals and insects won't even touch this fruit, then what the hell is it?
Okay, y'all, I threw this watermelon out over a week ago. It smelled really good. Bought it from Walmart. Cut it open, and it was like plastic. Tasting it was absolutely horrible. I didn't really know what to do with it, so I threw it outside. This is a week later. It looks like mud. What's going on?
But what's also been really interesting to me is how other people are responding to these videos. Because one person said, "Me enjoying fruit in peace, knowing y'all are buying fake rubber fruit on Etsy and freezing your watermelon for a viral moment." Now, I just want to make it clear that a lot of people making the videos of the rubber fruit are mainly older women in their 40s and 50s, and they only have about a couple hundred followers, so I'm not sure what they'd be looking for. Anyways, this could also very well be what's happening. I'm not denying that. Except for the fact that the rubber fruit that shows up on Etsy are actual hard plastic, or they're made out of styrofoam. So while I'm not ruling that out whatsoever, I'm also not going to automatically call these people on TikTok liars. And secondly, when you freeze watermelon, the texture doesn't turn rubbery. I don't know what you're talking about, because watermelon is literally 92% water. So it's not going to freeze like a toy. It's going to freeze like the texture of a slushie. What I'm also seeing is people getting on TikTok and obviously turning it into a Australia versus America or Europe versus America war, which just really grinds my gears, because let's say the rubber fruit conspiracy is real, right? Why would you then get online and flex to the millions of people who don't have access to edible fruit that you can have what they can't? Like, I can't confirm whether or not what's going on right now is the truth, but even if it was, right, is this response not even just a little bit ignorant? It just proves that if this situation was 100% real, not a lot of people would have much empathy because, haha, America, am I right, guys? But regardless of whether or not these videos are staged, doesn't change the general public's reaction to these videos. Because now we have people who weren't checking any of their fruits previously that are now chopping up every single bit of fresh produce in their fridge and taking a bite of each piece just to make sure it's not plastic. Which is just concerning, because either social media shouldn't be making us this paranoid over a prank, or supermarkets shouldn't be producing food that we can't eat. So either way, it's bad that we can't just be normal about food anymore. At the end of the day, maybe I'm just incredibly gullible. Maybe we all just live in one big South Park episode that we will never escape from, and maybe it's just the quality of our food that's gone way down due to weather. But all I can say is that I just think it's interesting how these videos of fruit are becoming popular just as videos of people being scammed by fast food restaurants are going completely viral like wildfire.
Now McDonald's, y'all be shaming yourself. Got a Big Mac, right? I was like, damn, this shit thin. Look at this patty. Y'all, it's so thin. What? McDonald's. You can see through this motherfucker. I'm not finna eat this. This damn near $10 meal and you give me this thick. Can y'all see how thin it is? The pickle thicker than the patty. Come on now, McDonald's.
Because it's not just happening at McDonald's. Chipotle has also been under fire for the past couple of weeks for scamming their customers of portion sizes and lying to them about it.
We've always said we want to give people great portions. We want to give them what they want. And our team members...
You've not shrunk the portion.
No, we never have. Like, from the beginning of time with Chipotle.
And the fact that Tim Hortons has also jumped on the bandwagon by serving absolutely pathetic and disgraceful amounts of food for the exact same price, and in some circumstances, more. Again.
I promised you why Africa is next in this narrative. And listen, I'm not here to promote propaganda. Honestly, what I'm saying is something which is happening. I don't want to say it for educational purposes. Now, number one, we are seeing globalization as one of the most important things which are happening in Africa today. So we have exchanges of ideas, exchanges of goods and services, exchanges of technocrats from one place to another. Now, as global food corporations expand their markets, processed foods are becoming more widely available in African countries. This often comes with aggressive markets and promotion. These people know very well that some people in Africa can't afford to buy the normal foods. So they're providing alternative. We can be importing some foods to your countries, and these foods, come look at them, the seeds that are being transported to these places, they are totally unhealthy because they're genetically modified foods. Genetically modified foods are not so much nutritional, trust me, they ain't. And one, this is facilitated by globalization. Two, our African leaders. And now this is where it gets so tricky. I'll narrate what something is happening in Kenya today. Our president, His Excellency, XX, he is imposing to people that we will be paying for the land that our ancestors gave us. We have some people who won't be able to pay for these lands. And you know what will happen next? The lands will be taken. When the lands will be taken, they can't cultivate. And when they can't cultivate, they'll be left with one thing. One thing that they'll be left with is just to go and buy these foods which are readily available, provided by globalization, which African leaders are doing. Come try to think about it. What was Julius Malema trying to say? Julius Malema was trying to say that we need not to open borders to these people. We just need to open borders to only Africans. If you're not African, if you not have any African descent, you are not allowed. But people took Julius Malema as a fool. And now you see the repercussions that this comes with. We Africans, we are not left in this question. We are next because the goal has always been to tamper with us. I don't want to say much, but that's the truth. And so if this is happening to people in the United States and you're seeing the number of unhealthy issues, reduced life expectancy in the United States or in other Western countries, it's because these foods are already there. And these foods, these are things which they keep on consuming, unless for the few percentage of people who are planting their own, who does farming. But the rest of the people are literally consuming these foods 100%. I've given you my second reason. The problem with Africa is our African leaders. Now that's the problem. Very soon, not even very soon, these foods are already here in Africa. Just recently, we had these genetically modified chicken The small size of chicken with big flesh in it. And they say that they want to try it in Africa. You see how that crazy is? It means that before them deciding that they want to send this to Africans, believing that Africans are starving back there in the motherland, now they need to get them this to Africa. Remember, they'd already tested it there. And you might be consuming it. That's why you need to take care of such kind of foods. I'll advise a person, especially in Africa today, a lot of chicken in the KFC or any other place you're going, in an hotel, you need to investigate what kind of chicken is that are you taking. Because it's already here in Africa. And the rate at which it multiplies, it's so galloping, it's so extreme. It gives birth at an unexpected rate, you know. Another thing is lack of regulation. Lack of regulation in this sense. The African government, for example, the KEBS of Kenya. KEBS of Kenya is an institution which deals with checking the quality of the product, if they are ready for consumption or if they are ethically allowed people to consume them. Factors to do with corruption will still allow this type of foods to enter in Africa. And these things will be signed by our leaders. So sad, but this is something which will happen. I'm not trying to threaten you or something, but that's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? If you understand where I come from, this is not a surprise. And that's why I'm telling you, we Africans, we are next, and we need to brace ourselves for the coming. Because see, and chances are high that Kenya is on the target. Why am I saying Kenya is on the target? I'm saying Kenya is on the target because the rules that they're coming to impose taxes on people owning lands, this will have adverse effects in farming. When this has an adverse effects in farming, it only means that people who can't afford paying or leasing the land will have no other reason. The land will be auctioned, the land will be grabbed, and it will be taken by the government. And when the land is taken by the government, the people who will be affected by that time, because taxes are literally everywhere. You can't escape track. I even can't say it because it's difficult for me. You can't escape taxes. It's inevitable. So when you keep on paying all for these things, it means that very soon your pockets will run dry and you're left with nothing to pay for the native land of yours. And the land will be taken. And when the land is taken, you're left with literally nothing. So when you're left with literally nothing, that means that you'll have to give up the land. Yep. That's just that. That's what I'm saying. We are next, Africa. And we need to embrace ourselves. People in the United States who are watching this video, I hope this video serves you right. Africans who are watching this video, I hope this video serves you right. As you know, I'm a presenter, Eugene Talk Stories. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. And if you're watching this video for the first time, you can consider subscribing to my channel. You can join my membership and get to see what I can offer you. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.